Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to yet another conversation around defense, around national security, and around Bharat and a strong, stable, a Sashakt Bharat. Well, we know, viewers, what's happened in the recent few days, where conversations around Operation Sindoor, around the territorial integrity, and also changing or wiping off Pakistan from the map. To this extent, the army chief have gone and said after the Raksha Mantri warned against misadventures in Sir Creek. But it all starts from Operation Sindoor. And what the Indian Air Chief once again reiterated what he had said back in August, all points to this book, that is Operation Sindoor, the untold story of India's deep strikes inside Pakistan. And the person who's authored this, and I'm quite surprised how he was able to do it in such quick time in terms of turn it around and a beautiful book, a very engaging reading, is Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, or Tiny Dhillon as we all know him. General Saab, namaste. Thank you. Sir, Jain sir, how did you do this so fast?
With the background of military and of course the intelligence, and as the things started unfolding after Pahalgam, that is 22nd April, and I was in Kashmir on 21st April, and I had a lot of background intelligence information about the peace which has returned to Kashmir. And then Pahalgam happened on 22nd April, and I started jotting down my points and my analysis. And in the acknowledgements I have written, I interacted with a lot of thinkers, a lot of veterans, a lot of military writers and opinion makers. And of course, as the things started unfolding, few things which I was expecting happened, few things which I was expecting didn't happen the way I expected. And few didn't happen at all. But not going into that, I put the whole thing together. And then Army Headquarters, Military Operations Branch, Military Intelligence Branch, they went through it with a
fine-tooth comb. Ek word aise chan kaisa. They would have edited it for you.
Yes, they took about 35 days. And the script went up and down maybe 10, 12 times. This is not correct. And then, of course, there was a lot which had to be kept confidential and classified. So to that extent, Army Headquarters did a good job of really putting the things in perspective. And then the book was done as late as 15th of August. Because 18th of August, I gave it for printing. And till 15th of August, including the Pakistan's claim of 138 soldiers and officers killed, whom they gave Shaheed.
Shaheed, yeah. You
the
mentioned
posthumous award. And that 14th August news is also there in this.
Yeah, and they put it out on that website and then they deleted it because they realized, "Arey, ye to seedha jod denge ki kitna."
They put it on Sama TV, and moment they got a flack that if these many people are given gallantry awards, that is 138, all of Operation Sindoor, then you can actually visualize the number of casualties which actually happened.
And the scale of devastation.
Yes, and a lot of soldiers and officers who otherwise get killed in battle do not get gallantry awards. And most of this happened on the line of control. So the intensity of the battle of line of control was, sort of affirmed by that award ceremony. And I have devoted a full chapter on the line of control.
I was going to come across to that because a lot of what happened with respect of decimation of the terror structures and also the air bases is already accounted for.
Is in the public domain.
Yeah, it's in public domain. What's not spoken about is the damage that Bharat inflicted on the other side with the LC.
Yes.
And you have devoted, like you said, a chapter to it. But they also attempted acts of cowardice when they targeted civilian establishment. And then they also hid their radar systems in civilian areas.
Yes.
Tell us a little more about that.
See, the battle of the line of control, unlike the battle of international boundary. On the international boundary, the latest technology was at a display. May it be in terms of drones, may it be in terms of missiles, may it be in terms of the aircrafts or air defense systems. It was a battleground for testing of the latest equipment which the world was producing. In real-time war between two nuclear neighbors. That was one part which the battle was going on, which got covered by media very well. As also it is in a lot of writings and everything. What did not get covered adequately because of the remoteness of the area was the line of control battle. Where the jungles are there, the scattered population, hamlets are there. And there the very intense battle took place, including infiltration of terrorists during the Operation Sindoor. which was thwarted, which I have given out, and the
Yes.
launch pad was burnt down. I have given the pictures of that. And then Pakistan tried to hit our civilian areas, especially the areas where minority pockets are there. There is a village in Tangdhar Baul, Tribeni. It's a pure Sikh village. That village got hit. The day it got hit, I got a message along with the photographs from that village, since I have my contacts there. So that's how this book kept getting updated by and by. And again, some villages in Poonch area, the temples in Jammu area and Poonch area. So there was a definite design to hit only the Hindu population or the Sikh population and alienate the minority of Sikh population in that area. So that they were not able to achieve. And when India hit back, the way with the synchronized method on their launch pads, on their air defense systems, on their headquarters, on their gun positions, has also protected our civilians. By the way, after Pahalgam, the drills to protect the civilians, civilian population, had started. The bunker maintenance had started. The underground, protection areas had been renovated and built, as also the drills, how to come to a safe area, how to evacuate casualties, the mobile hospitals, and all those things. And the way the packed food was also prepared to be given to the civilians. So there's a lot which happened on the line of control, which otherwise did not get reported. But here in the book, we have devoted one full chapter.
Yes, you have. And there you also say that there was this, line which you've quoted. You've not named the person who said it. Ki the Pakistanis were trying to move their guns, relocate them, and but still our soldiers caught them. Ki ek do baar fire kiya, तीसरी बार नहीं होने दिया. So that is something which you've quoted in the book.
Anand, what happens is when there is a ceasefire agreement on the line of control, so the regular exchange of RT fire, which used to happen when I was a corps commander, so the units and the gunners were in practice. The target data was very much available. The weather data was available because you are doing live firing and you are engaging, and all your visual means, may it be physical visual, may it be aerial visual means, to correct your fire. Those things were in place and in practice. What happened is over the period of the ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan, along the line of control, the artillery units have got changed. The new units which have come in, some data was handed over, but then that data is also obsolete. So that was a big challenge for the commanders, to make sure before we join the war, our data is getting updated, our MET data is getting updated, our target data is getting updated, and target profiles have also undergone change over the last 4 or 5 years. A thing which was a kacha bunker is now concrete. The thing which was a normal concrete is now reinforced concrete. So all that intelligence build-up of the target data updation was a major exercise which was going on. Because in peacetime, if there's no firing happening, if you sit relaxed, you will pay for it very heavily. So that is where Indian Army on the line of control was continuously updating their data. And when the day came, the target weapon matching is a very important aspect of warfare. The most suitable weapon must go and hit the target depending on the target's profile and structure. So that was done during peacetime. Civilians protection actions were done during peacetime, as I already told you. And that is where this gunner, when he says, वो एक या दो round fire करते थे, तीसरा fire हम करने नहीं देते थे. That means our counter bombardment will hit that position before they can fire the third round. And that was only possible because we did our homework during peacetime.
So there is a lot of data and intelligence gathering which happens, and this is part of military operations which generally people don't realize कितना important है. कि दुश्मन को जब तक आप नहीं जानते, उसकी ताकत को नहीं समझते, आप उसके लिए कैसे आप तैयारी करोगे. So this Shatru Bodh is inbuilt into the military operations. But General Sahab, I want to ask you, 21st April you were there. Did you have an inkling कि कुछ होने वाला है? Was there any talk that, okay, nobody thought it would be to the levels of Pahalgam and the Dastardly Act, but was there a sense in your gut and around the military, Khemas, forces, कुछ गड़बड़ होने वाला है?
Anand, I was there with my wife for 3 to 4 days, and we were roaming around. We were roaming around quite well. And on 21st, before I left by evening flight, late evening flight, I wanted to go to Dal Lake. just for one odd picture photo taking session and all. You won't believe it, in spite of being a former corps commander, escort vehicle escorting my vehicle, I could not reach Dal Lake. The tourist
Was
rush,
so many.
the tourist vehicles was so many, and then I told my security people, I said, let's turn around. Because I didn't want to disturb the tourist, because that is the mainstay of the local population's earnings. So we turned around, and that was the type of euphoria or the tourist inflow. And when there's tourist inflow, there's the income which is going up of the local. So there was peace, harmony, and prosperity everywhere. And when I was talking to the people who are responsible for the security, in a district as जिसको हम कहते हैं कि terrorism के लिए जानी जाने वाली, which is known for terrorism, district like Pulwama had not had a single local boy joining terrorism for last 2 years. So that was Kashmir of 21st April 2025. Tourist inflow, public very happy, everyone earning well, schools opening, children going to school, hospitals open, ATMs dispensing cash, and no local boy wanting to join terrorism. And they all wanting to do their own business or work and earn for themselves and stay with their family. Now this, when I saw, I felt very happy, and every Indian would feel very happy, every Kashmiri would feel very happy. The only people who didn't feel happy with this was Pakistan deep state. And when Pakistan deep state didn't feel well, and all the Pakistani terrorists who are operating in Kashmir today, that time the maximum number of terrorists who are operating in Kashmir, more than 80% were Pakistanis. That means local intake was getting dried up. And even those Pakistanis were not coming to the village, because the moment they came to the village, the information used to flow. So they were staying in the jungles. So that was the state of 21st April. And जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, वो पाकिस्तान को गवारा नहीं था. That was not acceptable to Pakistan. And at the same time, the situation inside Pakistan was bad.
Yeah.
And now they have to divert attention of the local population from inflation, from insecurity, from law and order, from corrupt army, bad politicians, and poor diplomacy. Against all that backdrop, the only way they could divert the local population's attention was to do something in Kashmir. And that, I think, is the reason why Pakistan did that. Did Pulwama. And it also was historic. First time in the history of Kashmir after independence, first time the local Kashmiris came on the roads on camera shouting against Pakistan, shouting against terrorists, and supporting the Indian state or Indian government or Indian defense forces or security forces actions in Kashmir. This is the first time it has happened. Because common Kashmiri who was earning so well, and suddenly the tourist reservations started getting cancelled and everything. जो सामान उनकी दुकान में पड़ा था अभी वो नहीं बिकेगा.
तो उनके देखिए पेट पे तो लात मारा, इकोनॉमिकली उनको हर्ट किया, एंड आई थिंक समवेयर इट द forces or the enemy wants to tap into a certain level of dissonance. आपने कहा जैसे गवारा नहीं था. But one more aspect of this whole thing that happened is that they singled out non-Muslims.
This was...
Has this ever happened, or did you think this will happen? They will go down to this level? Or was the warning from Asim Munir himself, when he makes a bigoted speech as an army general?
Chief. See, Anand, you have covered Kashmir so well. I have served in Kashmir since 1988. Never has it happened earlier. Earlier, what has happened is there is a bus of yatris, which would predominantly be Hindus. That bus has been fired upon, wherein the driver is likely to be a Muslim guy, the conductor is likely to be a Muslim guy, or some helper is going to be a Muslim guy, or maybe some local tourists have also, local people have also are in the bus. So random bus getting fired upon has happened in the past. Random firing on the tourists or yatris has happened in the past, but it has never happened that you identify your target by confirming his religion. It has never happened. It has never happened in past where you kill a man in front of his wife or his daughter or his parents. It has never happened in the past. It has never happened in the past that you do a cold-blooded murder. And then, like you said, Pakistan Army Chief, about 6-7 days before that, he talked about two-nation theory. He talked about Hindu and Muslim. He talked about Kashmir being a jugular vein. And that's exactly what got acted on 22nd of April in Pahalgam.
But have they become far too radicalized now? They hate Hindus, they hate Hindustan. There is a thing. They even differentiate amongst Hindus there. उनके हिंदू के खान की थाली फेंक देते हैं स्कूल में हिंदू बच्चे या जो नॉन मुस्लिम्स हैं उनके ग्लासेस अलग होते हैं ये सारी चीज़ें डॉक्यूमेंटेड हैं पीपल हैव स्पोकन अबाउट इट बट हैज़ पाकिस्तान really now even you said when the LC fights were happening they targeted Sikh non-Muslim areas so, church Christian church Sikh gurdwaras Hindu temples Hindu establishments
given in the book
you've written it in the book so have they now really flipped it in terms of itne radical rabbit ho gaye hain ki they have this is now their stated position
exactly even the army chief Asim Munir he had made a statement before that, he made a statement after that. And even their textbooks. When a textbook is corrupted, that means you are corrupting the minds of the future generations. And that's exactly what is happening in that country. It's not only about against Hindus or against Sikhs, it is against from within the Muslim faith. Certain sects are being targeted. Certain sects are being spoken against. So it is working at different levels. And so much so, even their sports persons, even their journalists and all, they all are playing to this type of a theory. So, which in a long run, today the world is getting united. Today the world is getting connected. The differences of race, caste, community, religion, language are getting obliterated. Common interests are taking precedences. Now, in that type of a world scenario, if you are doing something like what we are discussing, that means you are not aligned. And this non-alignment or not aligned with the way world is moving and you are moving your future generation, I think you are doing disservice to your future generation.
Or is it that they feel that this is what the gallery or the people have now been so brainwashed and they're so radicalized, the only way is to just make India the villain? Because you see, across the fence, it's the same East Germany versus West Germany kind of a situation, where, Bharat is prospering and people who are culturally linked are seeing, there is so much good happening there and look what is happening here. So what do? Let's just fight a little more and abuse them a little more and then create this kind of riffraff. Is that what is happening?
It is basically happening so that they divert the attention of the local population from the problems at home. Look at the Pakistani rupee vis-a-vis dollar. Look at the way the petrol, diesel prices are. Look at the way the atta, chawal, chini, dal, chai patti, their prices are. Look at the way the diplomacy is. Look at the way the politics is. After becoming a prime minister, you are either, sort of in exile or in prison. And look at the way the military is, the most corrupt military, the pizza chains and what have you, they're running all the businesses. So a common man feels frustrated. Now, if his frustration is not addressed, that frustration will target towards the state, especially the deep state. Now, to avoid that scenario, the only way they can divert the attention of a common man is Kashmir and Hindu-Muslim. So they are doing that. But at the end of the day, in today's world, the internet world, the media, the social media, where the truth is available to you at your palm top in no time, I think this is not going to go very long.
Okay.
The population now understands. The people who are right-thinking people in Pakistan, they say these things. People are saying in the parliament कि हमारे तो हुक्मरानों ने हमारे साथ में जाति की है. And they are thinking you are telling lies.
और झूठ बोल के आप कितना झूठ बोलोगे झूठ के पाँव नहीं होते मानते हैं पूरा शहर घूम पर पकड़ा जाता है. It will never stay on. Eventually the truth will surface. Now one thing that you've covered, this is I'm quoting from the book, viewers, and page 136. 9th August, the Indian Air Force Chief, speaking at a function in Bengaluru on Operation Sindoor on 9th August 2025, made an official statement that 5 Pakistani fighter jets, 1 AEW&C aircraft were shot down by IAF's S-400 missiles at long ranges during Operation Sindoor. He also confirmed the destruction of Pakistan's F-16s and early warning aircraft on ground. And you've quoted, we were able to get at least 2 command and control centers like Murid and Chakala, at least 6 radars, some of them big, some of them small. We have an indication of at least 1 AEW&C and that AEW&C hangar and a few F-16s which were under maintenance there. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft. which could either be an ELINT aircraft or an AWAC. Okay, and which was taken on that on at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is actually the largest ever recorded surface to air kill that we can talk about. And it was a high level tech war. In 80 to 90 hours of war, we were able to achieve so much damage that it was clear to them that if they continue, they're going to pay for it and more. So they came forward and sent a message to our DGMO that they wanted to talk, and this was accepted on our side.
Yes.
ये 9 अगस्त को हमने इसको clear किया.
Yeah.
And then 3rd October, Amarpreet Singh ji reiterates this.
Yes.
But this time he doesn't say few F-16s, he says likely 4 or 5. So this is just adding more numbers to what has already been put out there. And that comes at the back of the Raksha Mantri talking about Sir Creek, and followed by that, Army Chief talks about Sir Creek और आपका map बदल. अगर भूगोल में रहना है तो behave. Don't. Why is this happening, sir? Let's bring the story forward. So this is already declared. ये हमने 9 अगस्त को कहा, ये हमने 15 मई को क्यों नहीं कहा? That's my first question.
Let me answer this first question first. See, being a former Director General Defense Intelligence Agency, I'm not going to, declassify anything which I know, or I'm not going to say anything which should not be said, but I must say how the intelligence is gathered. A piece of information comes, A piece of information comes, and then you say, "Arey, ye hai. Okay, let's find out more about it." You want to corroborate it. You give it to a agency of yours or one of your assets. It may be ground assets, it may be an aerial asset or technical or electronic. Then that asset also gives you a piece of information. You overlap it. Some gets corroborated by 2 different agencies, some don't, and then there are certain voids. Then you give it out to somebody else. Then again, those informations come and the overlap. Now there is a 40 to 50% corroboration which happens. 30 to 40% gaps are there, and 20 odd percent is, which is a single agency inputs. Now this has started taking shape of intelligence. Till now it was information. Now it has started taking shape of intelligence. Now you again send it out to your, agencies who will now fill up these gaps, depending on the capability of the agency. It may be our source on ground. It may be our satellite imageries, it may be our spies, it may be our friendly foreign countries, or anyone. Now, once that information again comes in, and now the intelligence becomes even more clear. Now, this process which I am narrated in the last 30 odd seconds, it takes time. When it takes time, a responsible country, a responsible military, does not go to the town on day 1, on 10th of May, and declare we have achieved this. And during Sindoor, Operation Sindoor, there was one major difference. In the earlier wars, aircraft will go, it will bombard a particular place, the second sortie will go, it will take pictures of the target. It is called post-strike damage assessment. So the pictures of the target immediately after the strike, before they can hush it up, would be available to us. And post-strike damage assessment was very easy. Now here, no aircraft has crossed the international boundary, missiles have gone, hit. Now, the only way to corroborate it by satellite imagery, which has a fixed span of time when it will come over the target, and they get the time of, and they know those timings. We can monitor the timing, we can sort of change the timings also. But then by that time, they might have covered the thing. Like you've seen certain tarpaulins have been put on top of the bunkers. So that was an attempt to cover the damage. So this time in Sindoor, getting the post-strike damage assessment was, that's why a little more difficult. And being a responsible military, we took our time, we corroborated our damage assessment, and we showed it with images, satellite images on ground, videos taken by Pakistani citizens, along with their commentary. So once all that was clear, then on 9th of August, 2025, Air Chief comes and gives a statement. Now it's a responsible statement from a responsible authority. And with proof, with evidence. And the beauty is, nobody in the world has till date refuted these statements.
Challenge that.
Or challenged these statements.
But Pakistani के हमारे 15 मार दिए, हमको इधर तोड़ दिया, इधर गिरा दिया, वो कर दिया. They went about saying हमने इतने aircraft मार गिराए. Somewhere people felt they are walking away with the narrative. What happens there? And then suddenly the mindset is, हमारे कितने गए? What are our losses? You give the analogy of a one-day cricket match, but 251, 250 they put on board for no loss, and then the other team wins at 251 for 9. Eventually, it's the winner that matters. But there was such different messaging that came even from our own people. Do you think there is a problem with one people's mentality that who are not bothered कि हम जीते कि हारे, but कि हमारे कितने गए, who are not bothered कि हमने उनको कितना ठोका पर हमारी कितनी लग गई? This is a mentality thing. The other thing is, should the government not have come out and clarified immediately to reassure?
Anand,
When it comes to
in
narratives,
today's
ji.
world
Ji.
of social media and world of fast food, you know, अगर 15 मिनट में खाना नहीं आता तो you become uneasy. The chap is ready to say, okay, you take it for free. Now with this type of scenario in our daily lives, everyone wants the result to be immediately told. Like unfortunately, I told you, as I was saying, that we as a responsible state, as a responsible military, we don't indulge in immediately declaring the result because we take our time to confirm the details. The second point which I was saying is the narrative. हमने 15 गिरा दिया हमने Pakistani Prime Minister on record. First he said 5, then he made a statement of 6 Indian planes, and in the UN he goes and says 7 Indian planes. Now what is the truth? So, and when you come and somebody says 15, I saw on some social media thing, someone wearing Pakistan Air Force uniform. I don't know whether it was a talk show or it was a TV serial or it was an actual interview of that Pakistani Air Force officer. He's saying, "हमने 20 गिरा दिए." So, you never know. So, this is the battle of narratives. Again, that one full chapter on battle of narratives. And this is a new normal. This is a new environment. We have to live with it. We have to live with it, but the only way is that transparency is the only way to beat the narratives. They might give out a narrative first, they might push that narrative first, and then somebody else is doing catching up. But at the end of the day, the truth will emerge, and that is when the narratives will break. But one more important thing which happened during Operation Sindoor, in this 5060 thing, it was narrative building was not happening on the border of India and Pakistan. Narrative building was happening somewhere else. As I said earlier, this was the first time in the history 2 nuclear powers came to war. And 2 nuclear powers were firing the latest weapons against each other. One side was Chinese drones, Chinese missiles, Chinese radars, Chinese aircrafts, or Turkish drones, or for that matter, the Western Bloc, older vintage aircrafts. One side was, the array was Chinese, Turkish, Western Bloc. On the other side, the array was Indian, joint venture, and Russian, S-400s, and French Rafales. Now, there is a real-time battle going on and real-time trials going on of the equipment. Whosoever wins, or whosoever is declared the winner, that party will get all the orders of the defense equipment from around the world. And if it was declared that Chinese, Turkish, and the Western Bloc weapons lost this war, now you can imagine all the orders from third world countries or the developing countries would move towards India, Russia, and France. Now, this is not acceptable to the lobby which is managing the defense production in the world. So a narrative was built that Indians lost jets, Pakistani side didn't lose anything. And that narrative was pushed in a big way around the media also and around the opinion makers. Even the country supported that narrative. Because there's big money. The whole defense lobby was pushing that narrative.
Stocks kiske gire the, wo so dikhta hai.
Yeah, like I quoted in the book.
The Chinese stocks.
See, on 10th of May, when we did the second strike, and none of our missiles could be intercepted by Chinese radars, none of our missiles could be intercepted by Chinese aircrafts or anything, and no Air Force of Pakistan platform could get airborne, including Chinese aircrafts. And nothing, and all our missiles hit the intended target with precision. Now that was victory. Now, moment this happened on 10th, within 2 days, when the stock market opened in China, the stocks of the industry which was manufacturing these weapons which were being used in Pakistan, they fell to the tune of 8.63% in a single day. Now that stock markets don't go by narratives, they go by the truth, facts. And when the stocks of that particular industry fell by 8.63% within 2 days of 10th of May, now that's the truth. So there are a lot of things which are there in the book.
Yeah, you've mentioned about that. But General Sahab, final, we'll take another 5-7 minutes because it's very engaging. I want to understand what was, many people feel, why did we not push home the advantage? Why didn't we go and what's happening now? And let's put that in corroboration with what the army chief said. Has now the scope of the Operation Sindoor 2.0 or unpaused, has that been deliberately been widened towards geographical and territorial, dimensions? And has that been done deliberately?
Anand, two questions you have asked. First one, why didn't we push home the advantage? Again, India is a nuclear state. India is a responsible nuclear state with a declared nuclear policy. Similarly, after Pahalgam, we reserved the right to retaliate. As USA reserved the right to retaliate after 9/11. So they retaliated, they came to Abbottabad, they picked up Osama bin Laden and buried him in sea. That was a retaliation, that was not act of war against Pakistan. Similarly, when Pahalgam happened, we hit the 9 terror targets, and that was our retaliation against Pahalgam, who did Pahalgam, we hit those targets. In a similar manner, the Americans did to Osama bin Laden. Now, it was not an act of war by India. And on night of 6th, 7th May, ADGPI put out a tweet. And that tweet had the justice, Operation Sindoor, justice is served, and had 2 points in the statement, 4 points in the statement. One is, we have hit 9 terror hubs in retaliation of Pahalgam. Second was, we have not hit any military installation.
Close to those terror hubs also. Some of them are
yes, very close to it.
Yeah.
And third was, we have not hit any civilian area or a collateral damage. And fourth was, we do not want any escalation. Now, this is a declared policy of nation who is a responsible nuclear nation. And when you strike inside other country, and they declared these 4 points. Now, Pakistan retaliated. Now, once Pakistan hit our military areas, wanted to hit our military areas, when Pakistan hit our civilian areas, as we discussed, now that is act of war. That is act of war. Ours was retaliation, theirs is act of war. Now, to their act of war, we retaliated again in a counter-strike on 10th of May morning. And once we hit the 11 air bases and close to some very sensitive targets, we were very clear that we conveyed a message. And as a responsible nuclear nation, we had said on the day one only, we don't want escalation. And when Pakistan went to Saudi Arabia and USA for, negotiate a ceasefire, once they realized that now they are sitting duck, they said, okay, you talk directly in bilateral. And between India and Pakistan, as far as Indian policy is concerned, it has to be bilateral, not tri-party intervention. So that is when Pakistan came begging at 3:35 p.m. on 10th of May, which is written in the book, when the DGMO called up our DGMO and begged for a ceasefire. And the Air Chief said, then we accepted their request as a responsible nuclear state. Otherwise, we could have gone, like Air Chief also said on 9th of August, that people are asking him also, gaye kyun nahi, aur kyun nahi kiya? We could have gone ahead and decimated the whole thing. But as a responsible state, we had a declared aim. Once that aim is achieved, we don't want unnecessarily lives being lost or damages happening or other things. We want peace in this region. Now that was one point. The second point which you talked about, Army Chief's statement of Pakistan being obliterated from the globe and or the map. Bhugol se gayab ho jayega. Now, if that was Operation Sindoor 1.0 and that was a retaliation to Pahalgam. Now, this is a very clear warning happening in the area of Bhuj, which is very close to Sar Creek, where Raksha Mantri ji also made a statement that you do anything again, you try anything again, and then you see we will not stop at the way we did first time. This time we will go full hog and we will go to the last thing. Operation 2.0 will not be replica of 1.0. It would be a bigger version, more violent version, and more enormous version of 1.0.
You must have seen the Pakistani response to it. So my final 2-3 questions take. So they said कि अगर आप करोगे तो हम भी respond करेंगे. हम मिट जाएंगे तो तुमको लेकर के मिटेंगे. So, to that level is that there. How would you assess this? Is this just Gidar Bhabki or are they really scared? What is your understanding?
Not only response to Army Chief statement or Air Chief statement, Asim Munir on the soil of USA had said it earlier that if something happens, we will take half the world along with us in nuclear strike.
Yeah.
Now, if a army chief makes a statement on a friendly country's soil, which happens to be a democratic country, that we will take the half the world down, that's a most irresponsible statement
Yeah.
by any person of authority, especially if you are a nuclear power. No, we are not talking of nuclear. We don't have any saber-rattling of nuclear thing. We are only saying you do anything. Now we will make sure that militarily, because our no first use strategy remains.
Yeah.
That militarily.
We don't need nukes to wipe you out.
Yeah,
That's what we are telling the Pakistanis.
No, we'll say we can do it conventionally also.
Yeah.
Which we almost did in Operation Sindoor. Like you said, the only thing is we didn't push it. Next time we will push it. And the response is, we will make sure that half the world goes down. Again, the nuclear thing. Now, to this nuclear saber-rattling also, there are answers. There are methods of managing that. And India has those answers and methods. So there is no question of that also. But what Army Chief has said is very clear and very unambiguous.
Yeah. So in this case, now the whole, brief itself has been expanded to
Yes.
say now there is no restraint. We're going to wipe you out totally. If you really want to exist, back off from terror. Now, is that because there is a sense that the Pakistanis will do something? Or is it because of China's increased movements along our other borders that we've got our antennas up?
See, Anand, like in the last chapter I've given, what is our future counter-terror
Yeah,
strategy?
to be ready.
In that it is very, very clear. We are not differentiating between a terrorist, a person supporting a terrorist, or a state sponsoring a terrorist. For us, from the person to the state, everyone is a terrorist. And we have a counter-terrorist strategy very clear, zero tolerance. And that is a new normal now.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, if Pakistan tries something again, no, we are not wanting to do it कि okay पहले पहलगाम किया तो हमने संदूर किया अभी आप कुछ करोगे तो हम वो कुछ करेंगे फिर. We don't want to play this game over and over and over again. A country of our size, country of our military might, country of our economic might, country of our HR might, country of our biggest democracy in the world. Now we want to put an end to this nonsense once and for all. And that's exactly what the Army Chief, the Air Chief, and the Raksha Mantri ji has said.
But is that possible till the time the Chinese are around? How much of Chinese involvement has there been? Because there was surprise that was evinced by the CDS also that we didn't know the Chinese are so deeply involved. Professor Shrikant Kundapalli has made his own assessment that the Pahalgam terrorists were also using Chinese satellite phones. So that's also out there. How deeply are the Chinese involved?
See, China's support to Pakistan militarily and in other fields, including intelligence, which is sub part of military only, is there and we know it. China has always supported Pakistan in any war against us or in anything against us. What China has never done is China has not mobilized its forces on our border with China, which China has never done it, and it is somehow unwritten understanding. And this also proves the strength of our diplomacy. Like nations go to war, militaries only fight on the borders. When nations go to war, militaries manage the borders, diplomacy works around the world, the economic people work to make sure their supplies and everything is assured to the military which is fighting, and politicians or the state works with a resolve, clear-cut mandate, clear-cut orders. So it's a nation's war.
Correct.
Once
Whole
it's
of
a
nation
whole
approach.
of nation approach, when it's a whole of nation approach and nation's war, then diplomacy will play its part and make sure the Chinese do not come to the border. However, the Chinese support to Pakistan militarily and live or real-time intelligence as it happened in Operation Sindoor, which is mentioned in the book. So that will continue, and we cater for it. We cater for it.
We got to game it.
Yeah, we got to war game it within our plans.
Yeah.
As this is going to be the strength or the of other side. So that SWOT analysis of the enemy's strength, weaknesses, our opportunities and threats is always done, and it's a very regular type of a thing.
No, they say that they were so surprised that the Pakistanis knew that we have primed a vector and it was ready, and they requested, can you just hold that back? That's the level to which the Pakistanis had information, and that could have been possible only because the Chinese were involved.
See, Anand, without going into the actual and details of the incidents.
कुछ तो सही बोला मैंने. हाँ जी.
सही आपने बहुत बोला है, लेकिन होता क्या है ना, कुछ चीजें होती हैं जो करने की मंशा से होती हैं, कुछ चीजें होती हैं जो कहे बहू को, कहे बेटी को, सुनाऊं बहू को. some things are done to say, okay, here we are and we are ready now. Unless you behave, we are going to press the trigger. So, Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. Everything happens in war. I don't know what incident you are referring to, but this is how the wars are fought. A lot of things are done where you show it openly, which you want the enemy to see. A lot of things are done where you don't want the enemy to see and he gets surprised. And a lot of things are done for only posturing. And there are different names for this in the warfare. So all these things are done so that enemy keeps guessing where we are coming, what we are doing. And he cannot concentrate his mass against where our intended thrust is going to go. So he will keep his forces dissipated along all fronts or all places, or his assets, earmarked to face any threat from anywhere. Whereas, so when we are going, wherever we are going, by whatever method, we get the least resistance. So that is warfare. That is
finally,
that is art of war.
Final questions, Tani sir. Through your entire career, I think there have been often times where officers like you and all other soldiers have lamented that we have to depend on somebody else for our own tech, for our own munitions, for our own. Is that changing? Is Operation Sindoor perhaps the biggest testimony to what Bharat can do in defense?
Anand, that Make in Bharat, self-reliance has always been the key. During Operation Kargil or Operation Vijay, we were importing ammunition from South Africa for Bofors. When Bofors were proving to be good, and before the controversy and all, the ammunition was very limited. During the war, we are importing ammunition. See if, for whatever reasons, if the opponent's diplomacy is strong, nobody will give you ammunition or support during the war.
Correct.
So we can't venture into a war with not having the reserves. So self-reliance is the only way out. And starting with Second World War, even the ball bearings. Unless your industry is able to produce that, you will not be able to fight the war on the front. So self-reliance is the only way out. And in last few years, Make in India and self-reliance has been given a flip, has been given a push. As defense industry and defense technology is, very, very unique. The consumers are very few. Technologies are very high-end. And since the very numbers are very few and technology is very high-ended, R&D is very expensive, so it takes time. And they are denial regimes. World over, there are countries who have that technology or R&D, they will not share it with you. So in spite of all these constraints, India is doing extremely and exceptionally well in R&D and our Make in India. And when I say R&D, I'm not only talking of the defense research design organization, DRDO. The public sector, the Indian defense industry of public sector, private sector, they both have to join together to come out with the best. And that is what India is doing. And one more thing I must say, we are a software power of the world.
Correct.
The Silicon Valley, all our software engineers and all, and that is a fact. What happened during Operation Sindoor, and I mentioned about this in the book in a great detail, that L-70 gun, which is anti-aircraft gun at the lowest level, to S-400, which is the latest acquisition, we enmeshed this whole thing so beautifully because S-400 can pick up a target at, say, hundreds of kilometers. But the target may not be worth destruction by S-400. The target may be worth destruction by a surface-to-air missile, Akash, or maybe a L-70 gun or a Zoo gun. So that picking up by a particular system, designating the other system, and the other system destroying it. It is called detection, designation, destruction in real time when the target is already airborne and approaching you, only in few seconds. So we were able to enmesh our vintage systems, our low-end systems, our top-end systems, and our daily day-to-day use systems across services of Army, Navy, Air Force. Now that is the achievement. That is the achievement of Make in India.
The cost of war sometimes also can hurt a nation in a fight. So, and sometimes the enemy can send you bogies where the bogie would be worth 500 rupees and you are sending something worth 5 lakh rupees to destroy the bogie.
This happened during Operation Sindoor. See the drones which are coming. which most of the TV channels have shown the live coverage and those stars.
Everybody
And,
drone आगे से आगे से.
and now if there are 200 drones which have come in, all 200 are not active drones.
Yeah,
Say 190 are dummy drones.
dummy drones.
Dummy means they are flying there, they don't have a camera, they don't have a payload, or they don't have any explosive, and they're just flying around. And out of them, few of them have active cameras, they have active explosive. When they pick up a target, they will
drop.
go and hit a target and
Kamikaze,
explode. So, now how do you know as an air defense person which is active, which is a dummy, or which is a dumb drone? You will start firing ammunition at everything. Now that is why this game of detection becomes very important.
Important.
And that is how the latest technologies, unless they are homegrown,
It's not going to work.
it's not going to work, because someone is going to give you a technology which is, of yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's also going to tell your enemy कि मैंने उसको ये दे दिया है, काउंटर मेरे पास में है, अगर तूने खरीदना तो बात कर.
बात कर.
Because he is a businessman.
Correct.
He will give you a technology and he will give a counter to the enemy,
other person.
And he's also not giving you the latest technology. The source codes are with him. So the only way out is reliance on yourself. Self-reliance. So that is the way India is going. India has shown it in Operation Sindoor. And now, since I go and meet a lot of people in the field, I can assure through you, the Indian viewers, that we are doing a great job post-Operation Sindoor also of preparing ourselves for Operation 2.0.
So we are not preparing for a war that's already been fought. We are fighting.
We are not
preparing
sitting,
for a
we are
war
not sitting on our laurels.
Okay.
First lesson of military history is learn from the history, prepare for the future.
Future.
Don't sit on the history that, oh, I am great. We have seen great civilizations going down the drain with that feeling. So we have to learn from Operation Sindoor 1.0, prepare for Operation Sindoor 2.0 or any future operation in any domain.
You see that happening in the near future? Operation Sindoor 2.0?
The only way to maintain peace is be prepared for war. Unless you are prepared for war, peace cannot be assured. So as a nation, we want peace. And for that, preparation for war is a must.
Preparation for war is a must. So he's quoted the scriptures also beautifully as much as he's elucidated it beautifully in this book. General Saab, always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
What's next for you? As I say thank you to you, let me ask you that.
See, a soldier never retires. Only the color of the uniform he wears changes. The heart, the soul, the mind, the body remains the same. So I don't know in which form I will be working
But you will remain a soldier.
to work for the nation till my last breath.
Fantastic, sir. We wish you all the very, very best and congratulations on this book. It's a fantastic read. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anand, and thank you to all your viewers. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.